You ever walk out of a conference with your head spinning, half inspired, half overwhelmed? I'm up early this morning, the day after the Glamping Show Americas, and that's exactly how I feel. And if you weren't there, I'm sorry, you missed a great show. But let me give you a decompressed taste of what it was like there. Now, the Glamping Show Americas is one of two trade shows in the world dedicated entirely to glamping as a business. One's in the UK, where glamping really began, and the other is right here in Colorado, just an hour away from my operation. It's part trade show, part conference, part community reunion. You'll see vendors with the latest domes, tents, and tech, but the real draw is the conference. 2 full days of workshops and panels where operators, investors, and builders share what's working in this industry. It's the kind of place where you don't just shake hands, you actually walk away with real, applicable knowledge in running a glamping business. But you know what? I'll be honest. Heading in, I almost skipped it. In past years, the stage was filled with vendors just pitching their products. I mean, it's useful sometimes, but not why I go. Now, while I thought it was going to be the same old, I figured that's the same organizers would be running things. But this year was different. The show was acquired by a new outfit, and the baton has been fully passed. In fact, I talked to the previous owner at the beginning of the show. He said he was just going to stay there for a little bit. And I talked to the American Glamping Association president, who's a friend of mine. And both of the guys shared with me that they just weren't involved anymore in the curriculum of the program. And instead of sales pitches from the stage, the program was stacked with real operators like me, actual glamping business owners sharing their journeys, their real numbers, their mistakes along the way. And that shift completely changed the energy. The speakers this year included Isaac French, Todd Wayne-Perry, Tori and Seth Bolt, and many more. And some of them I knew, some of them I didn't, but they were all bringing their real-life case studies to the stage. And hey, the biggest props go to Sarah Riley and Steph Curtis-Raleigh. They anchored the event. Their moderating kept the session sharp, relevant, full of practical value. I especially loved the new founders track. In the past, maybe 1 or 2 operators would take the stage. I, in fact, was one of them in 2022. But my story was really overshadowed by vendor pitches. Not this time. This year, founders had the spotlight. And meeting Tori and Seth Bolt for the first time was eye-opening. They showed their revenue growth story, their permitting story, very similar to mine, and how they started out small and when their trajectory really shot up. Here's one of the slides that I took a picture of because, boy, did it resonate with me. Their early journey mirrors really where I am right now. But then you see the trajectory. Nearly $7 million a year in revenue. Now, that's not a dream. That's real, and it's possible. And on a personal note, I got to share my own story too. I was outside at the White Duck tent. I joined a fireside chat with other glamping owners where I talked about Monument Glamping, our wins, our challenges, and how we're scaling. It wasn't a keynote, but it was intimate. It was raw, and honestly, one of my highlights of the week. Now, I've been to 4 glamping shows before this one. This was my 5th year, and they've always been worthwhile. But this year, it blew me out of the water. The difference was simple. Real operators modeling success. And modeling is really the best teacher. It left me inspired and challenged, and I just can't wait to get back to my glamping operation. Now, if you're in this industry or thinking of stepping into it, I'm sorry you missed this show. The Glamping Show was fantastic this year, and now I'm really looking forward to next year. But if you'd like to keep this conversation going, I run a community called Your Land is Gold. It's where landowners and glamping operators come together to figure out how to make our land work for us, make us money, generate a living. You can check that out at school.com/gold. Hey, the main takeaway for this video that I want you to have is that this year's Glamping Show reminded me of why I'm doing what I'm doing and why we're on this path together. The ceiling is way higher than most people think. So I'm signing up for next year's Glamping Show Americas, and I hope you do too. See you next time.